Yeah, gave me 24 hours to leave the country. I got deported from Nigeria.
That is mad. Deported from Nigeria. So there's one in the guy's Igbo guy. There's one in Imo, there's one in Lagos, and there's one in Abuja. The one in Imo, I don't know why it's there, because the only time people are ever there is during Christmas. Yeah. But when I walked in there, I was totally rattled. Like, my cousin was like, right, why do you freeze? I said, I've never been to a club so nice anywhere. The speakers, everything. I remember like taking pictures and sending to one of my brethren. I was like, Ra, you were talking about speakers before. I was asking Ra, what's the best speakers for like doing events and all of that, and he'd mention it, and I was like, brother, look, the whole ceiling, there's about 50 of them. He was like, huh? I said, in this nightclub. Then over the back bit now, when you look through the window, they've got a swimming pool and bare cabanas, the outdoor bit. Then downstairs,
feeling like Dre's in Vegas.
Basically. Then downstairs, you had a bar, and you had like 8 pool tables. So I was like, all of this in one club. You had the private parking, everything. Bro, this is in the middle of the village. I'm talking, the clubs here, you walk outside, you're seeing the old school zinc houses, zinc roofs. I was like, right, you're taking a piss, because a bottle of champagne me and my cousin bought was £150 for Moet Nectar. Yeah. That was transferring money over from pound to naira. So I'm like, rah, you've got a club charge 150 for a bottle of nectar in the middle of the village. When I was drinking it, I went back here, I went back home that night, and I didn't tell my mom how much we'd spent in it. She goes, I see on your cousin's WhatsApp. She's like, because she'd only joined WhatsApp not too long before that, innit? So this was like February 2019. She's like, I see on the WhatsApp, you know, I was out there having fun, drinking champagne. I was like, I didn't want to tell her that, raw. It's 150 a bottle, you know what I mean? And just thinking the placing of where the venue was, fam, the locals can't afford that. Yeah. Like,
so it's only busy like once a year.
It's only busy during that Christmas period. Yeah. So I'm thinking to myself, raw, my man must have so much money, he don't care.
It's the passion project. Now I've been to a few of them. Yeah. I can't remember. I was in Benin. Yeah. And there's a couple like spots there that I was just like, there's literally they're massive. Like it's used as like a wedding venue. It's that big. Yeah. But like there's like 5 people in there because it's not whatever. But over Christmas, it's popping and it's
literally when we went in February. It was literally like it was my little cousin. It was a wedding. So like it was like the wedding entourage. There was like 50 of us in one corner. That's it. Then there was like 5 other people in the club, and it's like they were just easing their way over to party with us because they were just literally just 5 in the club. I think to myself, raw, like you said, it's a proper passion project where this man is mashing money in Lagos and Abuja. That my man just thought, you know what, let me just build something. Yeah, where I'm from. Yeah. But it's a thing like you have to start that domino effect to cause that Dubai effect, because if one person don't do it, the rest of these man are not gonna move. So if one person goes and builds a big, like gets a big piece of land and builds bare flats for their family and all of that, and builds a big yard, the rest of these rich Igbo boys are gonna be like, okay, let me go build something bigger. So it turns into indirect competition. Before you know it, they built up the whole area.
Yeah, I think it's like obviously it's a catalyst for the area, and it's the same in property, and it's the same in a lot of businesses. Even when we're talking about like when we talked about the YouTube and the Instagram and stuff like that, it's like if you get people doing stuff, it's like people don't believe in something until they've seen it being done. So but like if you take that out from a property perspective, you can use that as an actually, if you already own the land, you can say, okay, you know what, I'm gonna build something that I'm not even gonna see a return on my investment. Like I'm gonna spend however many million building this project, but it's only gonna be worth 1.5 million. I spent 2, so I'm actually down. But long term, if you increase the ceiling prices in that area and you already own assets in that area, it's you're playing the long game rather than the short game.
Think about it, like places like that now, if that domino effect happens and next minute people are building more clubs, people are building shopping centres, the locals start making real money, you know what I mean, compared to what they're used to. Business from other parts of the country start coming there because they see it as like the place to go for a staycation now. So everyone's going out there, everyone's traveling down there. Then before you know it, that area starts thriving. The Dubai effect happens, because like, see it like this now. Dubai runs out of oil. They're still gonna be fine. It's not gonna change nothing for them, because they've literally built everything from sand.
They've got the tourism infrastructure, so they've changed, like they've changed the narrative of what, to a degree, obviously what the country was based on.
Exactly. Literally just that simple. So it's a thing that, I'm just like, I really want to build back home. Like it's one of those things that I think I kind of owe that to my mum, to kind of like make her name be stamped. Like even though she's not around, when people go back home, they're like, this is where, you know what I mean, this is where my mom was from. Like people just always know things in her name. You know what I mean?
That's what's sick about property. Like I don't know if you know, like me, like Tunji, everyone's grandma, Khadija. So like on some of the projects that I've done, like the one in Croydon on the Addiscombe Road, when you build a certain number of properties, that was 4 flats, you get to name the buildings. That's now called Khadija House. So it's like being able to do something that the money's great and the money's a motivator, but in reality, what will be remembered for, and what will actually make us feel, do you know what I mean, will touch you differently and motivate you, is being able to like immortalize people that you love and that have loved you.
Once I mean to do that, I swear I'm stamping my mom's name everywhere. I'm changing the whole road. Everyone's gonna know by fire, by force, where when you pull up there, they're gonna be like, right, that's Maya Solika Road, Trust me.
That's what, like the non-financial drivers are what really, do you know what I mean? So when we spoke about finishing university, if you started to think about the money, you could have thought, but whether I'm doing doors or I'm doing PT and I'm doing, I can make this money, I don't need it. But it was the thinking of like making your mum happy. That's the real driver. And I think when people ask me like about like where I want to be in property and where I'm trying to get to, I have like short-term goals. So I'm like, do you know, it'll be sick to make $1 million, or it'll be sick to have a portfolio of X amount. But long-term, it's about like what you can do rather than the money you make from it, because like the money becomes just like a way of keeping count or to make sure you're doing it well. But what's gonna motivate you for them days where you don't want to get out of bed is like the real, like the emotional stuff of like the achievements.
Trust me, man, it's one of those things. I see with what you're doing, I see where it's going. Like you said, you've been in it 8 years. In the next 10 years, where it's gonna be a madness.
Even like I said, like maybe like over like an 8-year period or whatever it is, like my gross development value might have been like 15 million or something. But then because of lockdown, because of actually even the social media side of things, which, you know what I mean, Property by Kazi page has done well, like that's exposed me to new things. It's allowed me to network with different people, actually kind of create a more a more sort of like targeted pipeline, where now I'm saying, okay, I want to do another 8 million in the next 18 to 24 months. I want to try and have like, of that GDV, I want to be making like a 25% profit on it. So if I then do that and hit that metric, where I can go from that is like kind of sky's the limit.
The sky ain't even the limit. That's just...
what they say,
it's limitless.
You aim for the stars, worst case you end up on the moon.
You know what I mean? So that's sick, man. That is sick. Like it's gonna be madness seeing where all the men that we're gonna be in the next 5-10 years.
This generation, like just generation entrepreneur. Like there is this thing, and I spoke about. I did something on this podcast, like where like it was called Be My Guest, and it was like sick show, but it was like, you know, when you're just talking and there's something you don't realize what your answer to the question is until somebody asks you a question. And we were talking about like money and like what's it called, and like like you give out a lot of like freebies, like so you're there like training people and talking, but it's like what you kind of realize is the more money you make, the more you realize there's so much money to make out there, and the more you realize it doesn't matter like what somebody else, what Alan, John, whoever's doing, no one can affect your pocket if what you're doing is right. If you're doing what you're doing for you, no one's going to affect your bottom line. And that's kind of, I think, realizing that as was where I've moved away from thinking like, I don't want to talk about this because then he might do it, and you realize, nah bro, no one can take money out of your pocket.
London was talking about this last week.
Where I was, his thing. So his thing got me decent in the first lockdown. I fell off, but I was doing alright there, boy.
So Woz was here and we was talking about it, and I was like, "Raw, first lockdown, people was like, oh, how come you're posting Woz and posting Kira?" I said, "Brother, listen, their money don't affect me." Bro. And everyone's like, "Raw, but yeah, you're all in the same field." I'm like, I don't care, because listen, we're all in the same field, but everybody eats.
Bro, and that's like when people are like, oh, like you're giving away, what if they buy the house? I'm like, bro, there's so many. Do you know how many chimney pots there are in London? Who's gonna buy all these houses, bro? In the same way, do you know how many people want to go to the gym and get fit? Do you know how many people want that summer body? It doesn't matter. Like no one. And I just think that, like, I don't know, I try and be a positive person. Having that positive attitude, you kind of you get in what you put out there. If you were being mad negative, like, oh, I don't want Woz or Kira or whoever to do well, or their things going too well, it's just that energy, it just becomes you, and it eats away at you as well.
Bro, like a lot of people don't get it. Like a lot of people do not understand it. I'm like, bro, like I might need something today, and just based on I've done boom 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 copy repost for say Kira or Woz, and I say, oh listen, I've got so and so, could you just put this up for me for a second? They're not even thinking about it. It's just like, yeah, alright, cheers, boom, done. Well, if I was a person who was just like, nah man ain't doing this for no one, I'm not helping them lot, blah blah blah, they'll be like, scroll past.
Even away from the people that you actually got relationships with, like success is about building relationships and about your network. So even if they weren't your people like that you actually knew, if you see somebody's in your field and you think they're doing it well, why not hail them and be like, well, I post people all the, I'm even telling people all the time, like, if you follow me and you're in property, shout me and tell me, yo, this is what I do, like, because you can take inspiration off the young boy that's just started his journey in a PT. I can take inspiration off like the young girl who's just started like doing interior design. Like you might have some sick ideas that help me, and vice versa. I might have something to help you. But I think like networking.
Even like you said with the younger lot, I might post a training reel now. Like the other day, I was in the gym and I finished recording and we filmed like a training reel, and 100 and something people saved it. And I was just looking, and I was like, right, let me just look on the stories, because I was like, why the hell is this getting saved so much? So I just started tapping through loads of people in fitness, and I was seeing like, all these random youths that I've only probably met once or never even met that follow me were reposting it. So their crowd was coming on my page, watching it, and saving it to use for a future day. And I was just like, imagine that. I've not asked anyone. Like, I just put it on my thing, just because it was the end of our session filming for the app. So I was just like, right, you know what, let me just do, seeing as I'm here in the gym, let me just put a little nice reel together of a few exercises for core. And everyone just saved it. So I was just like, oh, now I see what this demographic of people want to see from me. You know what I mean? You gotta feed into it all, because
the world's changing. Like the world's changing in terms of like marketing, in terms of the way in which businesses are sold. Like businesses require an online presence. You've got to interact. The way in which people interact is different. So I think that we came through a different, even though I'm like younger than you, we still came through a different time. Like flyers, like bro, if I see a man still handing out flyers right now, I'm gonna have to tap him on the shoulder and say, big man,
cool now, I remember the days of being outside raves.
Bro, how do you think I was getting into the raves? I had to tell big bro, like, yo, come on D, like let me hand out some flyers. I'll be telling you like I got you lot, man. I'll hit the cars, bro, everyone's windshield. But like me and my cousin BZ just out here, we're doing up flyers.
Them things were jokes, you know. Rain, sleet, snow. Was out handing flyers and CDs.
Like, you know, even O2, you couldn't get inside. You have to be outside waiting by the car stand.
Them days are jokes. Man, just out there talking to every single girl I see walking past, boy. Every girl.
You see, not everyone. There times you wouldn't really want to fly, but certain times you catch a CD, you catch like a DJ Darkchild. Hey, listen, you'll run that for a minute. But then cars stopped having CD players, so then that changed that one up as well. People gotta understand. You gotta, you know what I mean. You gotta adapt.
You start telling people, go to the fly, find my SoundCloud link. But no, it's jokes though, because I remember like before the CD thing started, it was just literally normal flyers, and it was Hot Stepper. Hot Stepper was the first man. He came out of all of us one day, just pulled up, boom, put the box down. I just looked at him and said, brother, what's that? He's like, CDs. I was like, huh? It's like CDs. I said, right. Is that what we did now, yeah? But it got to a point, us there going out with CDs, Star Mix, Haribos in my hand. Like, oh, baby, you want sweet? Take one, take a CD. I was doing everything to get that attention. I was like, take one, take the CD. Oh yeah, here's a comp, free before 11:30. Bring some of your nice friends here.
Yeah, the rave days were different days, man.
Dude, everything there to beat the competition. Now it's a lot easier.
But it's still the same principle. You still got to beat the competition. So whether or not it's how you mess with the algorithm, the quality of the videos that you're putting out, the quality of like, whether it's like the quality of the app, the way the app's marketed, it's all the same thing. It's about, one, you've got to market it right, but then once you market and you get people through the door, if that product's not right, then they're not going to come back and repurchase.
See, exactly. The thing with now starting a brand and a rave, your first 2-3 of that brand has to
make or break.
It has to. If it hits correctly 3 times in a row and you've got footage of it, people get FOMO. So anytime you do it and if you keep it spaced out, every time you do it now, everyone's going to be like, So give you for instance, one of my events, Summer Love.
Yeah.
So that started off from one of my birthdays and it just kind of blew up. Now we got Summer Love it was meant to be June the 26th, but obviously Bojo he messed up with
free the bros.
He don't want free the bros. So July 31st. Then
do I get a comp? You know what I mean? You gotta pitch yourself. Like, I'm trying to get a little myself for the +1.
I'm gonna try to cast double. So we had to push that back to July 31st. And normally when you push back an event, bare people want refunds. But this one, only a small amount due to them having other things. Right. Everyone else is like, nope, holding on to the tickets. Then August now, we got the one for my birthday, the festival. We sold 1,300 tickets now. And by the time Bojo says things are open, that's just gonna double up.
Yeah.
It's literally gonna double up. So by the time the day comes, we might have like over 3,000 people.
And that's just what I'm saying. It's a case of market it right in the first place, understand your market, understand what they want, how to pitch to them, where to find them. Because you can have the sickest marketing, but if you're marketing in the wrong places, you're not going to reach your audience.
So now carrying on from that, when this year's one goes according to that plan, once you get the footage, next year's going to be a madness.
Yeah. and then you get to a point where it sells itself. Like you're literally telling people, yo, this is it. Like tickets, early bird, they're gone. At normal price tickets, they're gone. Last minutes, they're gone. And then
last year, before what's her name, Priti Patel went and changed the last day of. So we were meant to have one on bank holiday last year, on bank holiday Sunday, and she went and moved things to the Friday, saying after Friday you can't go out raving and all that. We sold 1,700 tickets. I was screwing, bro. Hey. I lost 60 grand.
Hey.
I was screwing. I don't think you understand. I literally, like, I just jumped in my car, face vex, just like, you have to do 56k in refunds, and me and my brother lost 6.5 grand each of our own money. Like, I was screwing. I was just there, like.
Who predicts a pandemic? That's literally everything that stuff comes down to in this property space, in any business. I'm like, if people are struggling, I'm like, bro, it's a like they're gonna write about this in school books and like whatever, and talk about the time the world closed.
But you see, the great thing I gained from that day, I gained data. Yeah. I gained data that I never had. So I ended up with about 800 numbers of people that I never had before. So now, anytime I got events like big events, when it's the big ones, I don't like to bombard their numbers, but when it's the big ones, like when the Summer Love or something comes, I just send a broadcast again. We're back. Boom. So it just literally, it does what it needs to do. So that's the benefit of that day. So a loss long term, it's going to be like, once things get back to normal this time next year, that's going to be my biggest win. That loss, that one day of taking that L, it's going to make future events. Yeah,
that's just business, isn't it? You gotta take. Do you know what I mean? It's risk and rewards. You gotta take the rough with the smooth. You gotta understand you can't let one bad experience shape. Because they'll happen. They'll come at the beginning, they'll come at the middle, they'll come at the end. There's no such thing as just a solid upwards trajectory. There's always going to be.
And that's why, even like leading on from what you said, like after like a few days, I wasn't that mad, because I was like, rah, like in a few years when all this blows over, that one day it's just going to make me always on an upward trajectory. Because that one day, like the way I was responding back to people quickly, I was sending people's money as fast as I could. Like they were just all replying back and saying, "Raw, like you ain't even trying to hold on to nothing." I was like, "Nah, bro, I don't want your money." Reputation, everything.
Like who you are, it's branding, everything. Like it's just, and I think sometimes people get lost, especially when dealing with friends in business, because a lot of those people would have been your friends or associates, and people get lost in over familiarity. But in business, you understand your market, understand how you branded yourself, and how to act correctly in accordance with business protocol. You'll be remembered, respected, and then people will come back and buy from you again, because that brand, when they're thinking, they're thinking, yeah man, he dealt with me properly, so this is my life, bro. This is what I said.
No, this is the content. The man said deported from Nigeria, and Nigeria deported from Nigeria. Please tell the story.
Bro, basically it was Christmas time. I've gone, but my Nigerian passport's expired. So I said, I'm just gonna go on a visa. So I've gone there, and I'm just chilling. They're taking ages to sort out my biometrics and everything. I had a wedding to go to in Benin, Republic next door. I was like, let me just dip quickly. So I've left, thinking, it's a road border. I'll just slide back in. But at this point in time, I was flyboy lads, long plaits, everything. I don't know why I thought I could blend back in on the road border. So obviously I'm trying to blend back in, I'm just trying to slide through. And they've caught me trying to cut through, where you guys? So basically, so I was like, cool, I'll just go back to Benin. Benin said, no, you've left there, because I had single entry visa for there. I couldn't get in there. Tried to go back to Nigeria. They said, nah, they weren't having it. No one was trying to do no business. They said, nah, you're done. So they were like, so then they sent me to the police station on the border. They said they're gonna send me to jail. I asked them, what's jail? They just showed me a storage container. I said, nah, bro, this one ain't really for me. I'm trying to get out of here. So basically, eventually, they gave me, but they didn't believe where I was from. They weren't believing nothing at this stage. Eventually, gave me 24 hours to leave the country. I got deported from Nigeria.
That is mad. Deported from Nigeria. And did they stamp your visa or passport? Any your British passport?
I get a new passport. I think I'm leaving a stamp on my visa.
Of all places, Nigeria. Nah, man. Buhari is working. How long ago?
Wow, this is what I said. I haven't been back for a minute. I think I got PTSD. I think I was there 5 years ago now.
That's actually a very good story. That is actually, I didn't know shit like that was possible in Nigeria. Nah, that means
I'm going to give someone
I tried to come and chat to the guy and say business. The guy just looked at me and said, nah, you're Europe boys, you think you can do what you want. The guy was not, I respect him though. He came and said, nah.
You can do what you want.
You
want to come to Nigeria and
just do it.
You want to do guy, you want to brand.
No!
That is the Nigeria I know, man.
Yeah.
It's UK that is corrupt, man, not Nigeria. Nah. No, that's funny though.
Hope you like these episodes. A lot of knowledge in it, a lot to learn. Watch his journey. We've convinced him to start filming for YouTube, so you're going to see a lot on these channels soon.